Hi there, I'm Dr. Cher, and I was listening to a webinar last week, and it had more to do with productivity, time management, this type of stuff. But some of these concepts, I thought these are very relevant to people who are trying to lose weight, and particularly when they're having challenges. And one of the biggest challenges that I often see with people before they start working with me, one thing they will say is that they just can't seem to keep moving in the right direction. There's a lack of consistency for whatever reason. Be a lack of consistency over the course of the week. It could be maybe they're good for a few weeks and they lose traction. Whatever the case is, there's a lack of consistency in continuing to do what they need to do in order to lose weight. And so this is a huge issue for a lot of people. And this webinar it was more about like being focused and being productive with one's time. He was teaching some really interesting concepts. The fellow that was giving it, his name is Nir Eyal. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name properly, but he's written a book called Undistractable. And his concept was basically we're always in motion, and either we have traction or distraction. Traction means movement, where we're moving towards taking action steps, doing whatever it is that we need to do to keep us moving towards a goal, an outcome, whatever we set our mind to, that we're moving in that direction. Even if the goal is simply to I'm going to lounge for the next hour and take it easy, that's okay. But you've made that decision and you're moving in that direction and sticking with it. The other, of course, is going the other direction where one is distracted. There's distraction. So things that are getting in the way. So for example, at work, it could be you have to work on something that for whatever reason, you don't really feel like doing, you don't want to do, whatever the issue is. And it's like, oh, I'll check my email. Oh, my phone's going. Oh, I'll go through my social media feed. Oh, I'll do this. I'll do that. These are all distractions pulling you away from what it is that you've had in your mind said you were going to do, but now you're not doing it. So you have traction, distraction. So and Neil, he's interesting background. He's a professor at Stanford. He teaches in, I think it's business design. I think he has a software engineering background, if I remember correctly. Studies a lot about human behavior. And as it relates to software applications and whatnot. Anyways, so he said that when you have this distraction and traction kind of dichotomy, that there are triggers that will pull you in either direction. You have external triggers and internal triggers. So external things could be something, I don't know, somebody puts a bowl of ice cream in front of you. That's an external trigger. But he said basically it's only like 10% of the reasons that people get distracted are due to the external triggers. 90% are the internal. And the internal triggers are often driven by avoidance of things that make us uncomfortable. So, for example, as it relates to weight loss, if somebody wants to use exercise as a strategy, well, the distraction is like, oh, I'm tired. I don't feel like going to the gym. These are internal feelings. For food, it could be, oh, I've got to go to the grocery store. I need to plan what I'm going to get. I have to make dinner. Maybe and the uncomfortable feeling is being tired. Don't want to stop doing whatever it is that's distracting you. Again, binge watching something on Netflix or flipping through social media or doing things that are kind of making you feel more comfortable, and having to change gears is uncomfortable. So these are the internal triggers that can pull us off track from doing what we need to do so we can stay consistent with our habits and our choices towards losing weight. So this applies in terms of doing the things that one needs to do, the planning, the prepping, the food, go to the gym, all these things, right? So getting distracted from any of that. But the other part of it is food can be a distraction, which I found really interesting in listening to his talk. It's okay, what does one need to do to lose weight? What are the steps and how do people get off track? But also food can be the distraction. By that I mean comfort foods. So, and again, the internal triggers, what are they? Being uncomfortable, as I'm bored, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I want a reward, I'm procrastinating, I have to transition from doing this task or work to something else. I can't make a decision, so I'm going to use food. So food can actually be the distraction. So one can be distracted from their plan, not doing what they need to do, but food can also be the distraction. So I guess what I'm getting at here is any of these things, when you think in terms of traction and distraction, saying, okay, I'm getting distracted, I'm off track from my goal to be healthier and eat well. Well, then look at what is the internal thing that's making you uncomfortable and deal with that, right? And I mean, of course, there's, depending on what it is, there's so many different things. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but simply just thinking of it differently, saying, I'm getting distracted, I'm getting off track. What is it that I am either running away from, running towards, trying to avoid? What's the internal discomfort that I want to avoid? And I'm either using food for it, or it's the internal discomfort of having to do something in order to stay on track. So yeah, you can always look him up, check out his webinar. He's written a book, Nir Eyal. Again, he's taking more about habits in the workplace, although he himself did say he was, I think, 100 pounds overweight, and he lost his weight over a period of time. So he did implement these strategies so he could show up each day and do what he had to do, make healthy choices, exercise. It doesn't matter what method you're using for losing weight. There's no magic wand. You got to keep doing it every day. So anyways, that's it for now. Check them out, and hopefully that helps you think of things differently if you are struggling with being consistent in what it is that you need to do in order to lose weight. Take care. Bye.